Hello there, you amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who related video for today. So this video is my 10 favourite Dalek stories, as you can tell by the post that I made. I love making posters. I absolutely love making this one. So I'm going to talk about my 10 favourite Dalek stories from Doctor Who. And I have to say, the Daleks are my all-time favourite villain. I always love the Daleks. They're literally generous. They do not have mercy. They will exterminate anybody on the spot. But over the years, we've had some bad Dalek stories. We've had some good Dalek stories. And we've got some masterpiece Dalek stories. So this video is my 10 favourites. I actually consider these to be 10 masterpieces of Dalek stories for Doctor Who. So basically, this is my 10 masterpieces Dalek stories that I enjoy rewatching over and over and over again. I love every single Doctor in battles the Daleks in every single incarnation. I mean, even in Big Finish, I really love listening to them in battle against the Daleks. I mean, Paul McGann with against the Daleks is just amazing. Sitting here talking about my 10 favourite Dalek stories. So jumping in number 10, it is no other than Doctor Who: The Evil of the Daleks. Now, this was released only last year in September, and it's been proper animated, and I love it. It's genuinely one of my favourite stories. It's such a great story. Bunch with time travel. We are in 60s London, and then we go to the Victorian times, and then we go to Skara, where we meet the Dalek Emperor for the very first time. I absolutely flipping love this story, and even though it's animation, I can just tell Patrick Troughton actually enjoyed filming the story for the season 4 finale. I just really did enjoy it. The characters are so fantastic. I mean, I'm so sorry to see Victoria's actual father get exterminated by the Daleks. But there again, he did basically lure the Doctor and Jamie into his kind of factory shop by kind of taking the TARDIS off them. I really did actually enjoy this story, though. I love how the Doctor puts in the human factor into 3 Daleks, try and make them a bit more nicer. I just really do love this story, and I just can't say anything about anything, even though it's just animation. It's just absolutely fantastic, and I really do love watching this story, and I've actually rewatched it now 25 times since September, because it's just the one Dalek story I really love watching over time, including his very first story, which is known as Power of the Daleks, and that's later on in this list. So, spoiler alert, that is later on in this list. In number 9, this story was broadcast way back in 2005, and this is the very first time the Ninth Doctor comes across one of his oldest and deadliest enemies. It is no other than Dalek, which you can get here in Volume 2 of Series 1. I do have the box set like 5 times over, because I got it in the collector's edition. I've got the big TARDIS box set, I've got it in the normal DVD box set, and of course on Blu-ray. And I love Dalek. It's one of my favourite stories, and when you see the Ninth Doctor come across a Dalek and his reaction where he thinks he's going to be exterminated, he goes, it's not working. Fantastic. Oh, fantastic. And the way he literally just shouts at a Dalek and goes, oh, how does it feel? Keep back. What are you going to do? And I love the fact when he's talking to it, he goes, your race is dead. All of you, the entire Dalek fleet wiped out in 1 second. You lie. I watched it happen. I made it happen. You destroyed us. And the way the Ninth Doctor literally just hits from goating at the Dalek and then hitting it. And he goes, yes. And he goes, what's about the time, lords? And you could see the pain in the Doctor's face. He goes, they're dead. They're burnt with you. The end of the last great time war. Everyone lost. And then, of course, Rose touches the Dalek, and the Dalek basically absorbs her DNA. It's starting to mutate, change, and it literally just goes and kills itself at the end. But this is just a fantastic Dalek story, and it literally proves how one Dalek can be so deadly, and you don't need a whole Dalek fleet. Number 8. Now, this one is one of my favourite stories from the 80s. One of my favourite stories from the 80s. It's Resurrection of the Daleks, starring Peter Davison, Terry Malloy's very first appearance as Davros. And this is a fantastic story. Now, in the special edition, you can either watch this in the 25-minute format into like 4 different episodes, or you can actually watch it in the way it was broadcast in 2 45-minute episodes. And it's absolutely fantastic. I just really love Revelation of the Daleks. You see, I got mine signed by Peter Davison. I absolutely love this story. This follows on from where the Doctor and Davros and the Daleks last basically met each other in Death of the Daleks, and the Daleks basically want Davros to help them to try and find a cure for the Magellan virus. Yeah, and the rest of the story is actually just brilliant. I mean, come on, it suffers the end of Tegan because she gets fed up seeing everybody dying. Yeah, pretty dark stuff this story is, and it's just absolutely fantastic and amazing. I really do love Resurrection of the Daleks. Number 7, this story was actually broadcast back in 2008. It is The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Yeah, the Davros' basic full-on return into the new era of Doctor Who, and it is fantastic. We've got the Children of Time. Yes, this is a David Tennant episode, but this is one of my favourite stories for Tennant. This one I love going back to rewatch, because I loved how Davros basically creates this plane with the Crucifor. He's literally using the stolen 27 planets that he's stolen to try and create a special weapon called the reality bomb that basically he was actually creating while hiding inside the Medusa Cascade. And of course, we got a new Dalek Supreme. We got the Daleks. We got the return of Dalek Khan, who basically goes insane by going back in time to the time during a emergency temporal shift, and he ends up rescuing Davros. And the story is absolutely fantastic, and I do love it. And it does lead to the 7th Doctor going on to his own, because Rose ends up having another Doctor that they end up having lovey-dovey stuff with, and I don't really care about that. We also have Captain Jack's departure with Martha and Mickey. As well, we have the departure of Donna, who basically the Doctor mind wipes. Yeah, that's the end of that story until the 60th anniversary, when somehow the 10th Doctor bumps into Donna again, and she's got a daughter. So yeah, that's mainly it for number 7. So number 6, my 6th favourite Dalek story. Now we are going way back to 1964, and this story was actually broadcast back then, and it is the Daleks' second outing, and it is the Dalek invasion of Earth. I cannot talk how much great story. This is one of my favourite Hartnell stories. It's my second favourite Hartnell story. I absolutely flipping love this story. I love how the Daleks invade Earth. This has the departure to Susan and the First Doctor's fantastic line. I won't be saying it because I've said it so many times on this channel. I just really love the Dalek invasion of Earth, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And I highly recommend this to watch for any new beginner to Doctor Who. Really love the Dalek invasion of Earth. So, number 5 is another story, and this one is from 1965. And this one's absolutely fantastic because the Daleks have gone and created their own time machine to chase after the TARDIS team, which is the First Doctor, Ian and Barbara and Vicky. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. This is The Chase. A 6-part fantastic story. We're coming across the Mechanoids, the Daleks' oldest enemy, apart from the Doctor. We go to New York. We go to we kind of end up like in a horror film when Dracula picks up a Dalek and throws him down the stairs. And of course, we kind of have that fantastic scene where they land on the boat. They literally dematerialise, then the Dalek ship materialises, and a Dalek goes overboard into the sea. I love that story. I love it. I really do love The Chase. It's just absolutely fantastic. And this is the final story for Ian and Barbara, but it's the introduction story to the Doctor's new companion, Stephen Taylor. And this is a good outing for the TARDIS team with Stephen, because Ian and Barbara meet him. They go back in time by using the Dalek time machine, but they miss out by 2 years because they end up back in 1965 instead of 1963. And then this story is just absolutely genuinely one of my favourite Hartnell stories. It's my all-time favourite Hartnell story. It goes this, then the Aztecs. I just really love this story, and the First Doctor basically does argue with them, and he is sad to see them go. Such a tragedy for the First Doctor. Number 4. Now this one is a Patrick Troughton story, and it is The Power of the Daleks. So after the Doctor has basically regenerated into his new incarnation, the Doctor, Ben and Polly land on the planet Vulcan, not the one from Star Trek. This is a whole different planet named Vulcan, and what do they find? An ancient Dalek spaceship. Leciter basically helps one Dalek to survive, and it literally reboots, and then you got this fantastic machine when you kind of get into like episode 4, 5, and you got the Daleks just coming out, and I love it. I really love the Daleks at this point. I love how it literally proves how cunning and medicine what Daleks can be, because it actually uses the human laboratory, it uses the human base to create a new army of Daleks, and this is genuinely fantastic, and I highly recommend this one. And this is the 2020 version. There is a 2016 version, but I prefer this one to the original. But I've got this on Blu-ray as well, and the original on Blu-ray, so I actually owned this story 4 times over, because I own it in the Blu-ray Steelbook from 2017. I own the original DVD from 2016. And then I own this from 2020, and then the Blu-ray from 2020 as well. It's Power of the Daleks. You can't have more than one copy of Power of the Daleks. It is a missing story, fully animated, and it's just one of my favourites. I just love it. Number 3, going back into 1980s now, and it is Revelation of the Daleks, starring Colin Baker. So the Doctor and Perry go to the planet Necros, and this story is just coming out on Blu-ray in a few days in Doctor Who the Season 22 box set. And this is the first story of the 1980s to come out on Blu-ray for the Daleks. I'm really looking forward to watching this story. I really am. I love it. Termaloy again appears as Davros. He's basically creating new bunch of Daleks, the Necros Daleks. The normal Daleks from Skaro do make an appearance to arrest Davros later on in the story, and basically they kind of want Davros's Daleks to be mind wiped to obey the Emperor Dalek, or the Supreme Dalek. It's been a while since I watched this one. And I really do love this story. It's my third favourite Dalek story of all time. It's just absolutely fantastic. I really cannot say how good this story is. Colin Baker, great performance. Nicola Bryant, great performance. Termaloy returns as Davros since Resurrection of the Daleks. And this story is set like a year later. And I love that bit when you kind of got the two assassins trying to kill Davros. And he goes, "You fools! You cannot kill me! I am Davros!" Sorry. God, it's too hot. I really, really do love this story. It's just absolutely genuine. It's fantastic. The Daleks are amazing. Davros, absolutely fantastic. And I kind of love the return of the Skaro Daleks as well to arrest Davros, which basically sets up the next story. But this story does kind of continue in Big Finish in the Juggernauts, which is one story that one story I do kind of want to say, please try and get it, because it is a great Dalek story. So, number 2. Now, most people will probably say, why is this not your number 1? And I'm sorry to say this, but this story I do enjoy, but this is my second favourite Dalek story. And it is Genesis of the Daleks. Michael Wisher plays Davros. This is the very first story to feature Davros. He creates the new Daleks and he calls it a Mark III travel machine, and then nicknamed it Dalek from the Carleds. And this story is set on Skaro, so the Doctor's got to go on a mission for the Time Lords to try and help the Daleks to become less aggressive and evil. And it basically backfires, and the Doctor doesn't stop him, but he does delay them for 1,000 years. I loved how it goes, "We have been delayed, not defeated. When the time is right, we will take our rightful place as the supreme power of the universe." I really love Genesis of the Daleks. It is just the one Dalek story, I have to say. It would have been number 1, but I really love my number 1 so much. I consider that to be the ultimate best Dalek story, and Genesis of the Daleks is the second best story in my opinion. I just really, really love this story. It's fantastic. It's really great. I love the Fowls, I love the Carleds, I love the Mutos. I love how basically the TARDIS team gets separated, where you got the Doctor and Harry basically in the Carleds, then you got Sarah Jane being captured by the Mutos, and then she kind of sees the Dalek for the very first time. Well, second time for Sarah. But this is way back in the Daleks' basically history, and it's just absolutely fantastic. And to actually have their creator in this story is just fantastic as well. Especially when you see the Daleks betraying him for the first time and they kill him. I just really love this story. It's just fantastic. So, my number 1, my all-time favourite Dalek story, and I have to say this one. This one, for me, wins every single time, because it's always been between this story and Genesis of the Daleks, even though I have put Genesis at some point in number 1, and then this one takes over it. And at the moment, this one's definitely taking over it, because I recently watched this one on BritBox. This story is just a superb Dalek story, and I really love it. It is Remembrance of the Daleks. This is my number 1 Dalek story, and I can tell you so many reasons why this is. So we've got 2 Dalek fractions basically at war for each other over the Hand of Omega, which is a Time Lord weapon. It can either be used to turn a sun's planet into a supernova to create time travel for them, or it can basically turn a supernova and to destroy an entire whole planet. And which is what the 7th Doctor does, because he literally tricks the Daleks. This is Davros's 5th appearance in classic Doctor Who, and really we kind of think he died, but you do kind of see the escape pod coming down, I absolutely love this story. And this is the very first story to feature the Seventh Doctor becoming more dark, manipulative, going powerful, crash the lesser races, conquer the galaxy, unlimited rice power, unlimited rice pudding, and etc. etc. Do not anger me, Doctor. I will destroy you. I just really love this story. Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred are superb. I mean, come on, I've got Sylvester McCoy to sign this one instead of the original release, which I've got. I really love this story. It's just absolutely Dalek funness. We have the Imperial Daleks, we have the Renegade Daleks, basically battling each other. We got the very first appearance of the Special Weapons Dalek, which takes out 2 Daleks in one massive shot. And that's actually done absolutely fantastic as well. And then, of course, the rest of the story is just really, really fantastic. The Doctor Ace is basically there, like, trying to work out who to trust and stuff. You got Captain Grillmore and his army of troops. I love the flax. He goes, literally in the beginning of the first episode, he goes, "Listen to me, Brigadier, good Captain Gilmore." And he's literally trying to tell the Dalek. When the Dalek literally shows itself, he goes, "Ace, give me those cans of nitro 9 you're carrying quickly." And then he goes, "How long are the fuse?" 10 seconds. Right, that's long enough. I love the fact the Seventh Doctor goes, "Oi, Dalek, it's me, the Doctor. What's the matter? Don't you recognise your mortal enemy?" And of course, he puts the natural 9 in his counting, gets up to 9, and then it just explodes. And it's just absolutely fantastic. I really love the way the Dalek just explodes and the Doctor just basically goes flying. I really love this story. Remembrance of the Daleks is my ultimate all-time favourite Dalek story. So that is my 10 favourite Dalek stories, going from the Evil of the Daleks to my number 1, which is Remembrance of the Daleks. What are your 10 favourite Dalek stories? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content.